It is wonderful to welcome the band BoonFire from Northern California to this program. All five of the members are here. They are Ryan Davis, the
Hi, John.
band leader who does guitar and vocals, Lee McEwen, the drummer, John McCallister, the bass, Stephanie Frost on vocals, and of course Bella Rayne Chile on guitar.
Hi.
Welcome to the show, guys. How are
Hi,
you
John.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Doing very well.
What time is it there?
It is currently 7 p.m., so there's a 9-hour difference.
Well, not too bad.
Yeah. Did you guys get to see the eclipse the other day?
I looked at it stupidly and then I just saw stars. So kind of, but not really.
Okay,
We have a blind drummer in our band now. It's pretty sweet.
wonderful. Okay,
That's
and
wonderful.
I hope you all had a good Easter. What did you do?
Worked. Just working.
I did about 20 Easter egg hunts. With my still 2-year-old.
All right. So for the benefit
Steph
of
didn't do anything.
I have a family reunion.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So for the benefit of the listeners, can you tell us who you are, respectively?
My name is Ryan, and I am the leader of this band of pirates.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Lee and the drummer of this band of pirates, recruited by Ryan Davis, who's actually an awesome drummer himself.
Nah.
Yeah, not too bad. I'm John McCallister. Friend of these guys are all from around these parts. I came later, but me and Lee have been rolling together for close to 10 years now. Steph almost as long, and yeah, with Ryan most recently, and having a good time. Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm Steph. I sing in the band.
What?
Up front, no less.
And I'm Bella, and you know me. And I play guitar with these guys for not that long now.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a second appearance on this show for Bella. I talked to her,
yeah.
I think it was last year, and we had a really fun conversation. We talked about everything 90s rock music. I believe Kurt Cobain featured a lot in the discussion.
Always.
Yeah. So
Who's
so is Kurt Cobain everyone's favorite Seattle resident?
My friend Emily lives in Seattle, so technically she's my favorite Seattle resident.
Real fans. I was one legitimately listening when it was going on. You guys were children.
That's true.
John.
We're not here to
Bella,
talk
I don't know.
We're not here to talk about
Oh, yeah,
age.
age. Never mind.
Okay. So you guys recently released a new album. It's titled
Woo, there it is.
Yeah, the CD of which I got from you, I believe, Ryan. And
Yeah,
Nice.
that was not an easy thing to send.
yeah, international
The
ship
post-
can be tricky.
Yeah, the post office lady looked at me funny
Mhm.
She does that.
and then clicked on the computer for like 45 minutes before it got sent.
And it's a wonderful album. I've listened to it twice now. And I wonder, for everyone looking at this interview via video, is this the studio where the album is being recorded in?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where the magic happens.
We spent 2 years in here doing it, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It was not an easy process.
Mm-hmm. And what was the most challenging part of the process?
I think the most challenging part of the process was everyone's schedules. Getting people into the same room at the same time. It's not as always as easy as people think. And there was sort of a learning curve to it. I was still learning how to use a lot of the more advanced features on Logic Pro, which is what we recorded it on. So I spent a lot of time editing the album. Then I also spent a lot of time looking up YouTube videos of how to edit an album on Google. I think I actually typed in how to record an album into YouTube at one point, and it
And
worked.
I should mention the cover art is really great too. So tell me about how this come to be.
That was from an artist that's actually closer to you. He's out of Romania.
Oh wow,
He's in, what's the capital of Romania, you guys?
Bucharest.
Come on.
Bucharest.
Thank you.
Good job, John.
I was there. I was there. I didn't say it.
I was there in the 80s. John was in Bucharest in the 80s when it really all went down. Yeah, he's in Bucharest. And so I found him online and bugged him for a couple days until he agreed to sell me that piece of art.
Mhm. Oh, so it's a pre-existing art piece.
Sort of. We made a bunch of edits to it, changed the sizing of it, added some more flamingos, a couple
I see.
more bricks in that thing.
Oh,
You've been working with that guy for a long time though, right?
No, I just found
You
him.
just found him?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Christian.
Christian.
No H, just Christian. Christian.
okay. So you added the flamingos in.
I added more flamingos. It needed more flamingos. We have a flamingo theme around here. You can't see, but over here there's a whole flamingo wall. John just found us a flamingo pillow at a thrift store the other day. The front doormat's a flamingo. Bella's a flamingo. Just all flamingos.
Jerk.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. I cannot associate anything like popular culture related to flamingos other than the movie Pink Flamingos.
Oh man, that was a weird movie, huh? John, do you remember that movie?
Oh boy, John Waters.
Yeah, it was a
Right,
John Waters
yes.
film.
That's right. That's right.
Divine.
Divine.
Divine, yeah. Oh, I don't want to watch that movie ever again. It's a great movie, but I don't think I want to see it again. Did you see that, Lee?
No.
No, don't watch it.
No.
I mean, I don't know. Did you like it, John?
I'd like to see it, and I believe that I will come out of the movie a different person.
Oh, you've never seen it?
No, I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah. Brace yourself.
Yes, yes, I've heard about the extreme parts of it, but can't wait to like actually see it.
It's a good movie.
Mhm.
John Waters is a genius.
Mhm.
Bella, have you ever seen it?
No, I'm not planning on it.
Bella's not allowed to watch scary movies at home.
No, not anymore.
and
Steph, you had pink hair for a while. Have you ever seen Pink Flamingos?
Mm-mm.
Talk to the microphone.
No.
Jesus. Steph's never seen it. It's just me and John.
I actually went to the San Francisco Zoo not too long ago, and the first thing we saw were flamingos, and it's deceiving how smelly they are. They're beautiful looking, but they stink.
Yeah.
Like fish.
so
Yeah, they eat like shrimp.
Bird poop and fish.
Yeah.
so according to the CD, you guys recorded the album at Navarro, California. So tell me more about that place.
Steph, tell us about Navarro, California. Come on.
Beautiful. There's redwoods. It's lovely. There's a river.
It's dark because it's in the shade all the time. So in the summer, it's very cool.
We're tucked away in one of the largest holdouts of like giant redwoods in the Northern California area. It's really incredible out here, and quality of life is pretty amazing because of it. But it's also very rural. We're at least 3 hours away from San Francisco, and 2 hours plus away from any sort of real urban area. Maybe an hour and a half if you call Ukiah an urban area. But yeah, we're out here in the sticks, but it's beautiful.
So I'm guessing you all grew up like either in or around the area of Navarro then.
These
I have,
guys.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Actually, you've been closest to Navarro. Well, your mom lived here when you were a kid.
Yeah, this makes me seem old, but we
Oh.
lived in a little 10 by 12 cabin, and we would ride my mom's horse with 5-gallon buckets on either side and fill up the buckets with water at a spring. That was the local watering hole, and that would be our water for, I don't know, half a week.
Yeah, you're officially older than
This was actually in the 80s, not like the
1880s.
1800s.
The 1880s. How many horses did you have?
Just one. Good old Sunny. No electricity either.
Wow. Yeah, so we're really rural out here.
I'm guessing you're all aware of the guitarist Dave Navarro, one time of the Chili Peppers and played for Jane's Addiction.
Of course.
Yes.
He's a great
He's
guitar
not from here.
player. Dave, not from Navarro.
I think it's a different spelling, isn't it?
Bella.
Probably not. I don't
Yeah,
think
last
so.
time I
No,
checked,
same.
it is spelled with two A's and two R's. So
Oh. Oh. Navarro.
Mm.
Well, I've never seen him here. Maybe he's
I
outside.
should change my last name to Navarro.
why not?
Navarro.
Bella Navarro.
I don't know.
Yeah. So this one is directed to Bella in particular. So you are the newest member of the band. So
Yeah.
how did you and the band come to find each other?
Brian?
Oh no, I'm not taking this one. He said directed at Bella.
I don't know. It was pretty funny. I think Ryan like reached out over social media. I mean, I guess as like everyone does these days.
No, your
And
mom accosted me for like a week
that's
and was
probably
like,
real.
my daughter is gonna play in your band, and I was like, who is
No.
this?
And then Ryan was like, we practice on Tuesdays, and he sent me some songs, and I like happen to already know the songs, and I came, and I have been coming like every Tuesday since, and that was like what? Like a year and a half ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
And I love these guys.
Oh, did you guys hear
Aw.
that?
I like to mention that I remember
No.
when I came to the
Lee.
their practice every Tuesday, and Bella was there, and Ryan introduced her, and we've had guests come before. We had another lead guitar player at the time,
Long lost.
and I remember Bella ripping into the first guitar solo. She obviously had rehearsed the song before, and I looked over at the other lead guitar player. But like,
See you later.
whoa. It was pretty incredible. So yeah, I'll never forget it.
To be fair, Jersey was leaving the band. We didn't have like a battle of the guitar players, and then Bella won and Jersey cried and left. Yeah, she shredded him. He set down his guitar and left the building.
Yeah, that's it over there in the corner.
Yeah.
That's the one.
So we needed a new guitar player.
Well,
'Cause my guitar playing.
Bella, I'm glad you're part of the team then.
I'm glad I'm part of the team too.
We're all glad.
So I'm guessing Navarro is in the northern part of California, right?
Correct, yeah.
What's the difference between northern and southern California?
We significant water.
We say hella.
And we say hella, exactly.
Said it's pretty old.
Oh, I say it every day.
It's green up here and the trees, the redwoods. California is a huge state. About 4 states worth on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And it's pretty biodiverse, but it's mostly a desert state. And up here, we're tucked in some redwoods and we get good weather, and it just moving north of here becomes more and more like the Northwest, and less like most of what people think of when they think of California.
Yeah, it's so funny because the people, I think what I've noticed in traveling the world is that people generally think of Southern California when someone says California. And it's really kind of a small part of the state compared to the rest of it. But I think it's just the most well-known because of the movie industry and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, we up here know the secret, and that is Northern California is way better than Southern California.
But we don't get the beaches. The beaches that you think of in California, those big sandy, warm ones, we don't have those here. And there's a couple sandy beaches, but they're mostly cold.
They're
mostly
cold.
rocky. And the ocean will whip you out there and not return you.
Okay.
It's a wild place.
But it's gorgeous though, for sure. Like, just stay back.
Yeah. Half of it is like, it's really beautiful here. Half of it is like, no, you don't need to come. We're fine. It is very beautiful up here.
So this one is directed at Stephanie. We haven't heard much from her. So you're the second newest addition to the band. So tell me about your story of how you ran into this gang of weirdos.
Well, I've been playing music with John and Lee for almost 10 years now. I sang in a blues band with them when I was a lot younger, and it was, I don't know, how long did we play together?
I think it's been close to like 10 years.
But like how long, I don't know how long we were in the blues band together for, I don't know, 5 years.
5 years,
something like that.
yeah.
And then I took a break from playing music because I had a child and I was very busy. And then Ryan's dad and my mom have known each other for a really long time, like since my mom was a little girl, and
That's right.
we had this kind of weird familial connection. And Ryan stole John and Lee from the band that I was in.
Hey, well, that's a sensitive subject. They came willingly.
They all retired and then mobilized.
And I still got blamed.
So then, I don't know, I guess like Lee suggested maybe I come practice with them because I was getting back into music again. I had more free time. My kid was a little bit bigger. And like my mom knew Ryan already, so she kind of like talked to him about me coming to practice too. I think you talked to my mom maybe a little bit.
Oh, yeah. That's why I recruit people for
believe-
the band. I talk to their moms.
Yeah.
and
I
then they
believe
join
the
band.
first time I actually came to practice with you, you said we're practicing on two or getting together or something, and I was like, I think I need to find a babysitter. And you were like, oh no, you're fine. I already talked to you.
That's
your
right.
mom about
Right,
it."
because your mom was like, no, she's coming. I'm gonna take care of the kid.
So I didn't have an out, and I had to come.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had no excuse.
Your mom planned the whole thing.
And then I came and hung out with Ryan, and I sang a little bit, and then it was really fun, and I kept coming back.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your uncle and my father worked together when they were like 21 for the Robert Mondavi winery, like the famous Mondavi St. Helena winery that like everyone knows around the world now, when it was kind of first starting.
Which is like far away from here, which is so funny. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like wasn't here where we live. Like they met,
Yeah, a couple hours away.
yeah.
I saw the movie Sideways a couple of weeks back, and that's
Mhm.
like my first introduction to the fact that California is known for its wines. So I wonder if any of you
Oh, yeah.
grew up close to like one of those vineyards.
I am from Napa, like
Mm.
the epicenter of the wine industry in California. So as bougie as it sounds, I am sort of steeped in the wine culture because it was kind of starting to really take off right when I was born. And my father and a bunch of other people were working for some of these what became famous wineries, but back then they were just these like family run, great pressing businesses with like 10, 12 employees deciding to try to make wine. And back then it was like you only got good wine, quote unquote, from France. Everyone, if you started talking about good wine coming from California, people would laugh at you. And then, if I remember correctly, I believe it was either Mondavi or Sterling. One of the what is now a big winery down there won like a landslide amount of awards at the French international wine competition one year. It was like 1980 or something like that, and it just sort of took the world by storm. And all of a sudden, Napa and St. Helena and Petaluma, to a certain extent, like that whole area just blew up and became super famous. So it's like a rock star story for a beverage.
Mhm. Wonderful. And of course, in case I forgot to say it, I'm glad you're in the team, Stephanie.
Oh, thanks. Me too.
Where
That's
we are specifically in California, it's all Pinot and Pinot Noir around
Yeah.
this region. And you can actually, there's two winemakers here that are known globally. So you can actually have a little taste of some local wine if you look out for it.
Navarro.
Navarro, Gold, well, I don't know if they have the international presence. They're amazing. Goldeneye does a Pinot Noir that's world famous, and the Rotor Sparkling
Rotor is good.
is also right here from the region. So those are a little taste of our area.
Goldeneye is actually a Duckhorn company though, and Kelly Duckhorn is from St. Helena. She's a friend of my mom's. So actually Goldeneye is an offshoot of a St. Helena brand. It just got crazy. You talk to a lot of those winemakers from back in the day, and they'll tell you it's like, 5% truth and like 95% bullshit. The whole wine thing,
But as far as us being in a rural area and industries go, that's about big ticket other than tourism around here.
Well, it used to be, well, never mind.
It was historically known as the part of the Emerald Triangle,
Yeah.
marijuana production. That's since been legal since 2015 and changed that formula entirely. So you've got a lot of boutique vineyards, small ones as well as big ones.
Yeah. This is a Latin saying, in vino veritas. I think in comes the wine, out comes the truth. I think that's what the meaning of it is. And so maybe that doesn't ring true when it comes to the California wine scene.
Yeah, it's a whole layered thing. It's all about money.
Yes. So before this conversation becomes too snobbish for our listeners,
I warned you.
why don't we return back to our music? So this question is directed at the person who came up with the band name. So I'm looking at you, Ryan. So where
Yeah.
does the band name come from?
When I originally moved back to Anderson Valley, and specifically a town called Boonville, I was living in New York City at the time, and I moved back here. And actually, some friends of ours had a band called, were you in that band? Were you in Boon Stomp? Yeah, so Lee was actually in a band called Boont Stomp. It was Boon, but it had the T in it. And I remember moving back, and everyone like kept saying their name over and over and over and over and over again. And I went and saw them. I'm like, these guys are great. You guys are great. So I noticed that the name was like a huge part of the band. And I was in another band years ago in Lake Tahoe, California, which also was named after a town. And people seem to really gravitate towards the idea of having like a specific place that we all call home and then naming something after. And people do it around here all the time. Every business is named, has either like Anderson Valley in it or Mendocino or Boonville. And so I originally just wanted to start like a wedding band and make some money. And so I was like, well, we'll put the name of the place in it. So Boon comes from Boonville. And then Fire came from, I don't know. Like it was kind of originally like a play on the word bonfire, except BoonFire. I don't know. In hindsight, it maybe wasn't a fantastic choice, but it's our name.
People in spell checks still confuse bonfire.
Yeah, you try to type it into Google, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Google's like, you want to say bonfire? No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't.
Yeah. And of course, boon is like I think in English, it is something that is helpful and beneficial. I don't know if people still use that anymore, but hopefully the name has been a boon to you all.
I didn't even think about that. That's true. Boon is also the beginning of sort of a colloquial reference to like a place that's super rural, like the Boondocks. Have you ever heard that term?
Oh yeah. The show, right?
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, it's an idea of like it being really, although I don't know why the Boondocks is named after that, because
There's also the Boondock Saints, right? The movie.
Yeah. But both of those take place in a city, so I'm not sure what the connection
I was actually born near Boone, North Carolina. So
Oh. Well, there you go. That's why I named the band after where Bella was born.
yeah.
There you go.
Oh, well. It's so the name itself sort of predicted Bella's arrival and joining the band.
It was a sign.
Destiny.
I should have never done it.
So aside from playing music together, what other activities do you guys do together as a band?
From to and fro. I mean, what else? We hang out. I mean, we do a lot of practice. It is still music, but it is time spent. if you don't play music with other people, it's a very interesting and unique relationship, similar only to bigger relationships in your life. It's like family or marriages, with the good and the bad, but it's you know, more a closer relationship than you get elsewhere in life, you know, other than very, very close ones. So it's a special treat.
I think Ryan and I geek out on drums a lot,
Yeah.
because he's a drummer too, and so we send each other pics of drum sets.
No one's supposed to know about that, Lee. All the pick exchanges of drum
And like
sets.
videos of drummers and stuff.
Close up, look at the close up of this snare drum.
Cool, guys. If we can edit that out.
Yeah, so I wonder, aside from, you know, each member's you know, skill set and talent, what are some other things that are required or needed to play together as a band?
Thanks, Steph.
I think it's really important to like communicate about stuff, which is like not always easy, but it's necessary to have like an open communication with each other. That's
And
probably the most important thing.
I agree with that, yeah. I would also say that I think that there's a lot of trust and that we all have to have it in each other. So like, thankfully, none of us have done anything to break any of that, because I think it'd be hard to operate without all the trust that we have to have. As far as like showing up, not only for the practices, but for shows on time, an interview, any number of things. When we tell each other we can do it, we all believe and know that we can. So that, you know, that's pivotal. It doesn't work without that.
Bella?
The same thing as them, really, just trust and having that bond together. I'm new.
You should tattoo that on your forehead.
I'm new.
I'm new.
I think being adaptive, I might work on a song at home and I got this drum part down, and then I'll get to practice and it ain't working, or Ryan suggests, let's do this beat instead, and okay, and then, you know, instead of just say no or whatever, I like this. I think I like to be adaptive and kind of just see where it goes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mhm.
It is, John's right. It's so much like any type of relationship, communication, adaptation, and trust. It's like, there you go. And time spent. It's important to spend time together, and it's important to have breaks and be able to go work on another project or just play music by yourself and with your friends. It's cool.
Yeah. So with that said, tell me about some of the individual projects in which you are in the process of.
I'm currently writing more music, which I promised these guys I wouldn't do for a while, but I'm sorry, you guys. In the vein of communication, I'm writing more songs.
14th month window until we can do a recording.
I just constantly try to get better at the drums. I geek out on YouTube at night, fall asleep to YouTube drum lessons and like drum fills, and I'm like, ew, that's cool, and I'll never be able to play that. Maybe 3 months later, I kind of got it down. It's cool. And I just watch drum solos, sending them Ryan at night.
While I'm sleeping. Hear the drums.
And
all
I
of a sudden
can't
start on
stop
my phone.
buying drum equipment.
You have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I don't need any of it. One drum set and a set of cymbals, but apparently I have a lot more than that.
You too.
And my wife doesn't know.
I'm out on the coast in hospitality, so we have some performance spaces that I've tried to help make some events happen for, and
But you
know, just
DJ a
doing
lot.
Yeah, just doing a bunch of hustling out on the coast, you know, and we're in a tourist area, lots of weddings, it's beautiful, so there's a lot of opportunities for us as a band, but also individually, it's a lot of that kind of stuff for me, business-wise. Steph.
Oh, is it my turn?
Oh, yeah.
What do I do? I do lots of different stuff.
What do you do?
I paint. I write songs.
You paint a lot.
I sew fabric. I don't know. I just like do a lot of creative stuff. I like to be creative and make stuff. I make all the different things. And yeah, right now I'm in the midst of writing a song with a friend of mine named Raina. I'm working on that. It's exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Steph and Lee are both also really amazing parents.
Oh.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time with
It's not
yeah.
together, but they're both very great, good parents.
Yeah, yeah, I have a 7-year-old daughter, so I spend a lot of time focusing on her.
Pardon the interruption.
No, it's true. She's a huge part of my life.
For me, just back to the recording thing. For me, just back to the recording thing for a minute. Because I would love to record again. And I think it was like 1 year exactly. We were maybe a little more. We were recording like the solos on Kool-Aid and stuff. And it was my first time ever recording on an album. So that's something that's really heartfelt to me.
Yeah, this is your first record, huh?
This is my first record.
Whoa.
Hey, congratulations, Paul.
Thanks. Thanks to these guys.
Plus vinyl, that's really exciting.
Yeah, John.
Yeah,
So-
we pressed a vinyl of this record, which was really hard to do
Mhm.
and kind of expensive, but we pulled it off. And a huge thank you to all of our Kickstarter
Mhm.
donations people.
Yes.
Yeah. Patrons, there we go. Kickstarter patrons who helped fund the actual making of the actual album, like the CD that you have and the vinyl. We were always going to be able to release it digitally online, but for us being like artists and musicians, it's just not nearly as fun as having something to hold, you know?
Like I think Chong was a Kickstarter patron.
You
I
were?
think he pre-ordered.
Oh, thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
You were, that's right.
Yeah,
Duh.
happy to help. Happy.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for that.
So, tell me, who amongst the band has the weirdest music taste?
John,
It's not that weird, but
John, the
It's
exotica.
obscure.
It's, you go to John's house and
Obscure
it
is a
sounds like
good
a
word.
tiki lounge.
it's very
Christmas music.
It's obscurely awesome.
everybody likes some of the music that I like. Just nobody likes all of the music that
I like all of it.
I like.
So, do elaborate, John. Why do the band members point to you?
Oh, I mean, I don't know why, but
It's the Christmas
yeah,
music.
related
Tell
to-
them
I
about the
do.
Christmas
I have
music.
I used to do a local radio show here, and I honed my chops for quite a while. I retired the show after a near perfect 2-hour Christmas special. It's true. We laugh, but this is all in the history books now. Anyhow, so that just, it fed into not only the archive of music that I have, but for years, I was searching for more to share with people. So it just changed how my mind approaches music a lot. And also while doing radio, when people would make suggestions to me, as we all get, I would, normally just be like, yeah, and forget it. And I made a habit of, and I still do this, of when people make suggestions, I make notes on my phone and follow up later, because it really helps when you're up against a blank canvas to just have some suggestions to sort of get the ball rolling again.
So you have everyone's musical tastes all rolled up in your. You're actually
I'm-
very picky too.
I'm very picky, but also like it's a weird personality flaw, but I don't like things that are trending. I'm a stickler for things that are over popular. I think it's a fear of crowds or whatever it is. I don't manage well with it, which means like even when a lot of this stuff that we all love now and are doing in the band, I was ignoring when it was happening in the 90s, but I've come around since then on most of it.
It makes learning some covers very difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
I'm
well,
like,
everyone
what's
knows
this?
this
I've never
song,
played
right? And
this.
John's like, I've never heard that song
Never
before
heard
in my life.
life.
Really, you don't know Smells Like Teen Spirit? Nope. Did you write it? No, I did not write it.
No, I have asked that a few times. It's written some not. No
Yeah.
clue.
It actually is a huge boon to my ego sometimes, because John will be like, oh, did you write Santeria? And I go, no, that's a Sublime song, but thank you for thinking that I
You
could
did
write
write
that.
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I did write Smells Like Teen Spirit, exactly.
Just to follow up,
Named after
John.
Bella.
Yes.
This show actually started as a radio show when I lived in Canada, and I, for the most part, I use it as a vehicle to introduce to the world my music taste.
Nice.
But at some point, I began to be curious about other people's music taste too, and it became like a chat show format. And then, of course, I got curious about other things too. So so it is
Nice.
so music is a subject, one of the subjects, but it's not the only subject. Um, and I suppose it is I think a quality to be curious about new things.
Well, there was, to answer more directly what they were referring to, because I have a large selection, but I think that the Exotica is possibly the most unique that I'm really fascinated by. It's a genre of music
Mhm.
that's defined, it's a little bit odd, but it's defined as non-native exploration of their cultures. And it's based on like 50s and 60s jazz musicians, kind of, and even earlier, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and the Hawaii coming on board as a US state,
Mhm.
and post World War II, and coming out of soldiers coming out of the Pacific Theater, had this sort of romanticized image of tiki and this other thing that exploded all over. So this is the kind of music you could imagine in a tiki place, is what the sound of it is. Martin Denny, Les Baxter, a couple of big names in that. But
all part of his childhood.
yeah. But there's also a Spotify list that you can check out. That's 43 hours that I have.
Oh my
that
God.
I use. Well, I use it at work because I don't want it to loop. You know,
Mhm.
like any music becomes Christmas music if it loops.
But
John
that's-
works a 43-hour day.
So it's a 43-hour list. It's called John's Funky Fresh, and it's on Spotify if you want to check it out. 'Cause it's got a good selection, and it's mostly funk and hip hop.
All right. So tell me about the tell me about the time when you discovered like new music, as in music that you've not listened to before, and then you find yourself being, especially taken in, or be really into it.
Steph, you have that person that you follow that always introduces you to super cool music. What is that?
I do follow a couple different Instagram pages. that are,
Yeah.
Like based on just people that do that for a living. They just like, they just scroll through, I'm guessing for hours and hours every day and like find songs that are awesome and then go on Instagram and suggest playlists of different songs to people. I like nerd out on that. I love finding new music. It's like the biggest dopamine rush. You just lay there and scroll and then you find a song and you listen to it like 170 times.
Yeah, when you find those bangers, it's hard
Yeah.
to set it down.
Yeah, I love finding music. Your face gets like tingly and you're like, you feel like you're floating for a second. Yeah, great feeling.
Yeah. That is cool. Yeah, Steph sends me new music all the time. Actually, I get a lot of my new music from Steph. Even though you text me Apple Music links and I don't have Apple Music, so I have to
Every once in a while,
memorize what it is.
I could send it to you on YouTube, but I'm like, that's too easy.
That's
Anything, you can take the extra time.
why it's so hard to make this album.
Yeah, antagonizing Ryan is
Yeah.
a fundamental part of band culture.
Antagonizing Ryan and my mom are like two his favorite things to do.
Yeah, in regards to Steph's mom, by the way, the first time around, we went with the blues band. She said, "Sure, I'll show up." We invited her out. I met her mom before I ever met Steph. She was bartending and ran the bar in downtown Louisville, and I didn't know Steph at all. I think you were 19. And your mom was like, "You need to meet my daughter," and she just played music with you guys. And I'm like, this poor girl is being pawned off by her mom at the bar. Strangers.
Like for two goats.
Anyhow, we kept asking her to come, and she was like, "Sure, I'll come." And again, I was like, "Sure, I'll come." And at practice, she didn't show up. And I went to go see her, and her mom was there. And I was like, "Marcia, she's not. She keeps saying she's coming, and she's not coming." And Marcia's like, "Oh, she's coming." And that was the end of that. That's when Steph finally had to show up.
Had to go to
So her mom
practice, yeah.
Made her, but I sort of routed her out to her mom, but.
Yeah.
Did what it took. I had to do what it
Something
takes.
you guys have in
Yeah. Gotta do what it takes. Steph, it's hard to budge, this one.
Yeah, I'm shy.
Everyone's family is super involved in all of our bands because we're such a small community. It becomes
Yes.
kind of overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, emotional audiences.
I told my mom she had to leave the stage the other night at our CD release party, which is the second time I've had to tell my mom to do that.
Hearing Ryan go, move on stage.
Don't sound like that.
Always hilarious. It sounds exactly like that.
We sound so cool.
Yeah. I know that I often I'm still sending like new music to Bella because
Oh, yeah.
we were connected on socials. Yeah. So tell me about some whatever new music that you've discovered lately.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, a ton from you, but I'm bouncing between like so many things right now. Between all the different kinds of music that I'm playing, feels crazy. Yeah, my genres are changing all the time. But I'm happy to play anything. Just playing is great for me. And learning a lot about like improvising and jumping in with different bands is cool because the Bay Area is a huge jam band scene, which is like honestly where I'm at right now, which is totally different for me, but I really like it. And they've been like beyond supportive to me. So thanks to all of those guys. But yeah, just anything right now, really.
You do play a lot of different types of music.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's like a good thing though.
Oh yeah, no, it's really good for you. It kind of, yeah, it's great.
It's pretty impressive. I think it really Bella's obviously very talented, but you're finding and creating your voice, and it's great. It's happening really rapidly.
Thanks. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's cool because Bella will go play, we'll play like a BoonFire show, and then Bella will go play like 3 weekends in a row, 5 times a night or whatever you do, and then come back to practice on like a Tuesday, and there's like a noticeable difference. Like she's noticeably better than she was like 2 weeks earlier. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hate to put you on the spot once again, Bella, but aside from being the newest member, you're also presumably the youngest, and I would assume that
Yeah.
younger by at least like 10 years. So not to make the other members feel old, but so
25 years.
so to what extent have you guys I suppose bridged the generation gap when it comes to the aging part?
Oh, that's on you guys.
You know, the great thing about playing music is it's really art in general. It's really the how old someone is in years really kind of has nothing to do with it. You know, the technical side of Bella not being able to get into some of the bars that we play can be a little challenging. But other than that, you have a permit, you're good. Yeah, I haven't thought about, I don't think about age in this band until someone else even, brings it up.
It's the family and relationship thing again, and then
Yeah.
with Bella, I mean, there is an age difference, and it's clear, but not like it makes it weird at all. We just kind of tend to all treat her more like we're protecting her, like again, sibling or something, more so than we would for each other. Obviously, we look out for each other, but like we're leery of whatever's going on for Bella.
Bella's also very mature for
Yeah.
her age too.
Yeah.
Bella's super old, actually.
Yeah.
I want to say though, I remember before Steph was in the band and Bella, it was John and Ryan and I and this other guy, Jersey, and I remember in our old rehearsal room, I mean, Tuesday nights was party night. Dirty jokes, brewskis, tequila or whiskey. I mean, I remember smashing beer cans over my head and like kicking beer cans off of Jersey's head.
I got a video.
He's not very tall.
I remember that too.
And I gotta say, we toned down a lot.
We have really
Uh,
reined
Yeah.
it
And
in.
now
Join
now
the
it's
band.
boring.
Kinda.
Boring. Hey.
I've toned my jokes down a little bit.
Well, no, he
So,
just, the same dirty jokes, he just prefaces it with, sorry, Bella.
Yeah, you throw a sorry on the beginning of anything and you can do whatever you want.
So
With
you
a
guys
lot
have
more
to,
candy.
so you guys have to act a bit less like children and more like adults when Bella, the
Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
is around then.
Possibly, there was a little growing up that happened. I'm just saying possibly.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Well, also Bella's more mature than we are, so we had to
That's
keep
true.
up.
Yeah.
It's not that we do it because
Keeping up
Bella's,
theirs.
we're not trying to teach her something. We're just like, oh, she's way like more mellow than us.
Yeah, and I don't think Steph would care actually if we were still doing that, but you know, I'm just trying to be respectful.
Are you kidding? Steph would put a beer can on her head and let you kick it off.
I stopped doing that.
I would. We're gonna do that after this.
Yeah, a little day
Not
drinking.
trust. It's
So-
called trust foot.
So how did you settle on the title of the album, which is Complexity?
I came up with that because it was so complex to make this album. From a technical standpoint, from a personal standpoint, from a social standpoint, the artwork that I ended up settling on, which is the one on the cover, was super complex. It just all sort of fell into place and made sense because it was a very complex process, and we're all complex people. It just, the list goes on and on. It just fit so well.
Yeah, and yeah, the music is quite hard.
And the
to
music is
describe, too.
complex.
Yeah. How would you describe it?
What did we say the other day? Does anyone else want to take this? I'm terrible at this.
I always insult you, so I'm not gonna say.
Oh, you would never insult me.
White boy reggae.
No, come on, that's insulting.
Alt reggae? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my flannel. I'll be right back.
What did someone say the other day? It's like if Gwen Stefani and Kurt Cobain had like a love child and then tried to teach it to play like ska songs or like Bob Marley covers, and it couldn't do it, but it could do this, and that would be BoonFire's sound.
I like it.
It, baby.
Yeah, I think the diversity of influences from everyone in the band really adds a lot to it. And so we try to honor that kind of by just jumping almost from genre to genre every couple measures, just so everyone gets their kicks in.
Yeah, I enjoy it. We do have intelligent and like competent musicians in the band too, obviously, but it makes exploring and doing different songs and different things really interesting because everybody shows up. And like on the album, we've got another Ryan on the keyboards with that. He came to the show recently and we didn't really get a chance to practice with him, and it's just great because everybody, there was room, like in the music, we made room for him, and that was not a problem instinctually. And it's just, I think it's special, and it's nice to work with folks like that easily.
Yes, and I'm guessing that will be Ryan Taylor. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
he's listed in the
Ryan.
notes
Ryan 2, we call him.
because you've taken the place of Ryan 1.
Yes, I stand firm by that. No matter what John says, I am Ryan 1.
I call him Ryan 2 because it ruffles Ryan 2's feathers.
Hey, I am not Ryan 2.
So there are 9 tracks on the album. Each one is a different flavor of what the album entails. But I'd like to hear about whatever tracks that didn't make it on the track list, if you have any.
I don't think any songs got cut. Right? Did we cut any songs?
I mean, the main complication is we wouldn't do covers on an album, obviously, but
Right.
for legal or other cost reasons. But
Yeah. No, I don't think anything got sacrificed.
That's good.
Yeah, and I even actually poached a couple small ideas from some of my older bands that I wrote for specifically that song Volume. Volume's been around in my life. I wrote it when I was living in Truckee, which was a long time ago. That's been floating around my life in a couple different forms for a long time. And so I just made a couple tweaks to it and added it to this album because I'd never officially recorded it before. And kind of gave it just enough of a flavor to make it work on a BoonFire album. I think that song specifically stands out the most for people who know our band, and a number of people who had never even heard that song before were kind of like, is that a BoonFire song? And I go, yeah, I put a reggae guitar part in the background, and it was like, well, yeah, but that doesn't just make it a BoonFire song, but we put it on there anyway. And I love playing that song.
The bridge to that song kind of has a BoonFire style to it, though.
And that's because I added that to it a couple months ago.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a fun song to play. I like Volume.
So I like,
Volume's a cool song.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
okay, we got disconnected for a bit, but we're back now. I'd like to spend a minute to thank Catherine Davis, your manager, for setting
Yeah.
it all up. So tell me more about her.
Catherine does so much work behind the scenes for our band, as far as like the boring stuff that none of us want to do, like emails and talking to people online, getting us paid, which is a huge thing for bands because we're so focused on art and things all the time that the like financial side of things is really tough to keep an eye on. And so we owe a lot to her for keeping an eye on us.
Yeah, keeping us in line. Ryan found the perfect wife. Really.
To what extent are you guys involved in the Northern California music scene?
Why me for this one?
Because you're the only one who
Yeah,
is involved
you're
in the Northern
active.
Cali music scene.
Well, me or this band?
Well, in general.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm actually supposed to be on my way to Southern California this next week.
Traitor.
But the Northern California scene's great. It's great. There's a lot going on. I wish there was more going on like closer to here.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
not too much going on here, but for here, I think we're doing pretty awesome. We have a lot of great shows this summer coming up. And the lineup, I think I almost like the lineup better than last year's, with the exception of a couple shows. But between playing with these guys and playing like in the San Francisco Bay Area, I have a lot going on around here. I think the scene's pretty good, and I think it's getting better. And there's a lot more like women stuff happening right now, which is cool.
Nice.
So
For the
all of
band,
that.
it's a little tricky because we all have lives, like Ryan said earlier, and babies on board and all that kind of stuff. So getting two shows that are out, going anywhere that's not in our little direct area, which is very small and rural, as mentioned, getting to somewhere nearby that's big takes a lot of time, energy, and resources for us, all five of us, to get out there and do that. So it's hard for us to do that on a consistent basis in this region. So we keep it tight and close and get out when we can.
Yeah, I think we know every single band in our area very well.
Yeah.
It's a small scene.
So to end this conversation, which I think is a great one so far, I think I've asked Bella this to end this too, but she's welcome to tackle this again. What does music mean to you?
What does music mean to me? That's a tough question to answer. That's a pretty big scope of emotions to put into one answer. I don't know. Everything,
Means a lot.
everything. Like, just besides my kid, the most important thing probably to me is like singing, and it's like part of who I am, part of my soul. I don't know.
Very nice.
Everything.
I don't know, but I'm vaguer on the answer because I agree with Steph. It means a lot to me personally, but I looking out and seeing how things have been difficult in this industry, the recording and performing industry, post to 2020, it's been tough because it just hasn't grown back as fast as other, businesses and commodities have come back on the scene. And I can see it happening now. It is getting better, but it's a tough place to be as far as making things happen and being in a scene. When you mentioned the scene up here and all this, because I know a lot of big venues and big and small that are not, holding water, and it's tough out there.
It's tough.
But music means a lot to me. It means everything, and being able to do it with people that you trust and care for means everything too. So I agree with Steph on that.
For me, it's very therapeutic. If I can just focus and not think about anything else except playing the drums, whether it's just me or with the band, I feel so much better afterwards. God, I could probably play the drums all day.
It's so fun.
But with my headphones, my ears hurt. And I gotta take a break every once in a while. But no, I totally geek out on weird little paradiddles. I give my daughter a bath and I sit there in my chair and watch her, and I'm just like, this bead on my legs. And she's like, Daddy, what are you doing? It's like, oh, it's an inverted paradiddle I'm working on, honey. And
He's like, you said
it
diddle.
just helps my brain be clear. If I'm having a bad day, go out and play the drums, or I look forward to practice weeks in advance. And yeah, it just makes me happy. People like yoga, people like playing music.
Yeah, I agree with everyone. Music sort of means everything. It is a tough thing to pin down. It's a great way to escape, and not necessarily in a bad way, but just for me, music is the one last thing in life sort of left over from my childhood that still feels like it's something magic that you do. I don't understand kind of how it works, even though I've been doing it for so long. And there'll be times, especially for me on stage, when I can be, dead sober, and all of a sudden, right in the middle of a song, you just black out, and you come, and like 15 minutes later, you come to, and you're like, what did we just do? And like people are either cheering or not cheering, but it doesn't matter. And so that feels like magic. I don't know how it has the ability to knock me out on stage in front of a bunch of people. It's not like I fall over, but you like wake up and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah,
It was
you're in
awesome.
the
Like,
zone.
yeah. And you're like, whole body's full of adrenaline and like dopamine, and you feel like you've just done 1,000 different drugs, and it's insane. It can be totally insane. And that's the only thing that I know of that is like actual magic, But yeah, magic is sort of what it is for me.
Okay.
I mean, music between playing live and recording and listening and playing with these guys and getting to connect with so many different people on that level. And like what Ryan said, it really is that escape. And I don't even think it's something that needs to be understood per se, but it really is magic. And as far as it goes for me, I know it's something that I want to do for the rest of my life, and that's really the dream. So yeah, music means everything to me.
Well, it's a wonderful note to end on. So, Ryan, Lee, John, Stephanie, and Bella of BoonFire, thank you very much for taking the time to join this lovely, lovely conversation.
Thanks, John.
Cool.
Thanks,
Thank you.
John.
Appreciate it very much.
Have a good day, man. Oh, you're gonna go to bed soon, right?